I share what I'm listening to and my thoughts on music and the business daily for free at helloyassine.com.
What's poppin', y'all? Ebro's the next person to take shots at Akademiks. And Akademiks, I believe he's just going to sit there and take it. Like, he's consistently done with Ebro. It isn't the first time Ebro has taken shots, but Akademiks knows who he can and can't go at. And Rosenberg is not an Ebro. And he's even said Ebro's a really powerful figure. Ebro has institutions behind him. Ebro is damn near head at Apple. But the thing that spurred this was, of course, we talked about this a couple of days ago. It was the sickness statement made by Ebro saying, like, Drake is a sickness in the game. And I made fun of it, of course. But one thing I won't take away from Ebro, and I've always given him, is he's always had an opinion. And he's never shied away from it. And I don't think there's been an instance where, like Rosenberg, Ebro is glazing somebody nonstop. He's fair in his assessment. But this started with Akademiks going on X and quote tweeting this post from this fan page that showed this clip from The Breakfast Club where they talk about Drake and Party Next Door predicted to go #1. And the two women on there, they're just basically having a discussion. They're saying, well, it's surprising that he's still there. He must still have a fan base. Just to sum it up, because it's like a 4-minute clip. They didn't say anything that's genuine hating. They said, well, it's hard for me to not think about certain lyrics that came out of Not Like Us. And then when he's doing these corny videos with the drone above him, which was a steak ad. And then Akademiks responds to this and says, this type of hating should be an Olympic sport. What he do to that chick who looked like a man and the other one? And this is the thing where Akademiks wonders why certain people will hold a grudge against him for years. It's completely unnecessary to make fun of that woman's appearance. I don't know if there's some history between them, but I'll give you another example where there was no history said. Coi Leray, she was invited to do a podcast with Akademiks when he had his show on Spotify, and she rejected it. And then he clowned her sales afterwards, although no podcast is going to get you gassed up in sales. That's just not how it works. Nobody has that kind of pull, which is the same thing that Vlad said about Saweetie, the selling 2K thing, which I started that, by the way. I spread that statement. It's funny how far and wide that went. But with Akademiks, he was surprised that Coi Leray wouldn't show up to his podcast when he said that she looked like a boy. And he constantly reiterated, he's like, yo, Coi Leray looks like a 12-year-old boy. Like, I don't like... And you're talking about this individual like that on your stream, which, cool, it's all well and good. I'm not saying I approve of it. But to then invite that person and have them sit across from you when they've clearly seen what you've said about them, and then not being able to put 2 and 2 together, that they wouldn't be comfortable with that. So that's the same situation that I see here, and why I say it's a recurring thing with Akademiks as opposed to there's something wrong with, I think he's talking about Jess Hilarious or whatever, because she may have said something about his appearance, but Coi Leray did not. And the same thing happened with Ice Spice, except to a far lesser degree. Ice Spice is not going to go ahead and say anything, but she rejected an interview with him as well. And then he goes on to say, these media dudes sound like hurt hoes, calling Drake a sickness, acting like Drake effed their hoe. Half of these guys just wanted to interview. It's okay, get the F over it. Play your game that these artists don't have to give you nothing, and you still win. This is where we get the cope, that they wanted an interview. So what's the deal with LeBron then? Because LeBron stopped messing with Drake. What, did Drake smash LeBron's chick? And this is the entire thing. They act like, oh, Drake just smashed your chick. Like, get over it. What? Why? And this is the thing. It's not. Drake has access to a wide variety of women that don't have to be involved with people that he has been cool with. So if he's going after them, even if they're not together anymore, that's one thing. But if he's going after them while they are together or while they're up and down, you're going to have an issue with him. And he's trying to toss it to the wayside. Like, Akademiks wasn't going crazy because Shaq DM'd one of his girls. Or who was it? I think it was Shaq DM'd his girl, and this NBA player from the Celtics DM'd his girl. And then Ak went live drunk. There are clips out there of him I think it was, I don't know, Jalen Green, something, Danny Green, I don't know. And then he DMs the guy's wife. So you're blowing up the guy's marriage because he DM'd your girl, and you're like, yeah, man, I got to do that. But these people are wrong to feel a certain type of way if Drake smashed their chick. And I don't think the media guys are salty at all, other than Elliott Wilson. Ebro was never doing an interview. I don't think Ebro's ever did an interview with Drake. Charlemagne has always had his ups and downs with Drake, although he's been shouted out by Drake, so he was definitely happy about that. And the thing with the song, with the diss song, like what Just Hilarious was having the conversation about in the Breakfast Club, that's the same exact way people looked at Meek Mill. Every time Meek Mill was hanging out with Nicki Minaj, they would say, is that a girl tour? Is that a world tour or a girl tour? Every time he tried to flex, people were thinking that. They were thinking of the most recent diss track and how those lyrics added up to what was going on in Meek's career at that point. But Ebro replies, and he says, this goofy, drunk, and sick too. Pills, hoes, and fast food. I don't know if he's going after the pills like that. He will get it together one day, but we have all been lost in this game at some point. I don't know. I don't think Akademiks could get it together with at least the liquor. That's almost a part of it. That's like saying somebody needs to put the water down. Like, bro, your body's like, what, 60, 70% water? His body's 60, 70% alcohol. He's been down in that thing since college. I don't see somebody stopping unless they think they have a problem. But he doesn't believe that he has a problem with it, so why would he stop? I hope Akademiks doesn't go in on Ebro. It just doesn't benefit anybody. Sure, it will be entertaining. Yeah, of course. Everyone's going to laugh at it. They're going to find it entertaining. They're going to go back and forth. And I do find Ebro's statements ridiculous. But to try and run interference in defense on legitimate reasons for why people are looking at Drake a different way is disingenuous. And it comes across very biased. Drake just got washed in a beef. He just had his grave stomped on. Not a grave. You guys know what I mean. At the Super Bowl. Yes, people are going to look at Drake differently, even the media. And I did say this in a separate video where I think Drake's, not hesitance, but him keeping an arm's length away from the media made them more inclined to be less supportive of him during the beef. That is true because Kendrick Lamar's been up there at a Hot 97. Sure, he hasn't been there in a very long time, but he's been up there. And when you do people favors, they're more inclined to rock with you, especially when you clearly won a beef. Hey, it's a clear winner. There's no debates about it unless you're a lunatic. You try to even debate that point. So whilst Akademiks is trying to say that media is salty, my statement was more so that media was just more favorable to Kendrick Lamar. It's not that them being salty about Drake not doing an interview with them. The only person that was salty with that was Elliott Wilson. And he already had a Drake interview. Most of these guys never had a Drake interview. And I think that the people that were saying, like, oh, man, he's doing stuff with, like, Caleb Presley, the Sunday Conversation, and Bobby Althoff, they had a point. Like, Drake was trying to expand his brand, of course. But I don't think they would have been upset if Drake did it with another hip-hop outlet. I think that they just wanted to be done with a hip-hop outlet. But I understand Drake's positioning there. I don't disagree with the podcast that he did. I just disagree with him doing Bobby Althoff because I think he juiced her. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Go to helloyassine.com. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Peace.